Hey guys, Greg here. Let's solve largest rectangle in histogram, Leetcode number 84. So we're given an array of integers called heights, and these are representing the histogram's bar height, where the width of each bar is 1, and we need to return the area of the largest rectangle in the histogram. So here's the picture here. If you look at the 5 and the 6, you can actually draw a height of 5 across these, and since that is 2 positions, you get a height of 5 and a width of 2. That's going to give an area of 10, and that's going to be the output for this. Now I'm going to draw this out so we can really explain this. Okay, so let's use this same example here. Now, as we saw, if you carve out a height of 5 here, we can actually draw a rectangle like this, which is 2 positions wide. So we're going to get a width of 2, and we're going to get a height of 5, and the area calculation is going to be height times width. And so we can actually get a height of 5 times 2, which is equal to 10. And that's going to be the best area that you could get. If we draw out some other rectangles here, well, you could use just this bar, and that's going to have a height of 2 and a width of 1. That's going to have an area of 2. You could use these two together and draw it like this, so we could get a width of 2 and a height of 1. Well, that's still just going to be 2. You could actually draw this all the way across here, so you could get a width of, well, that's going to be a width of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could get a width of 6, but still a height of 1, so that's still going to be an area of 6. You could draw this, so that's going to have a height of 2 and a width of 4, but again, that's going to have an area of 8. And so no matter what rectangle you draw, the max one we're going to get is that first one here, which looks like this with an area of 10. Now, honestly, I'd say for this problem that the brute force solution is not even worth discussing because it's more complicated than the actual solution we're going to get. And it turns out that the actual solution is going to use a stack. And it's not very trivial as to why that's true, but I'll show very shortly why it works out really well. Okay, so basically what you would do is you would come up with a stack. We'll just write it like this, empty so far. And then we're going to look at the first position 0 in the array. Now on the stack, we're going to place tuples of the first position will be the height of that bar, and the second position is going to be its index I. So they're going to look like this on the stack. And so for this position here, we're going to have a height of 2, and its index is going to be 0. Now basically what our stack represents is we basically have a candidate right here, which is we have a height of 2, and we're trying to see how far we can extend that. Now, as we go over to the next position, we actually immediately see that we cannot extend this one. We cannot extend this one any further because it wants to go over like this. It wants there to be room here, but there's not because this is smaller than it. So what that means here is we basically have to pop this off the stack, and we need to see how much of an area we can get from that. Well, we're at position 1, and its index was 0, so that tells us we have a width of 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1, and that makes sense, right? Like the width of this is just 1. We have a width of 1 here. So the height of this was 2, and the width of it is 1, so we got an area of 2. So we'll have something called like max area. I'll just call it max A. So far, it is marked as a 2. Okay, now we have this guy here, and we basically want to do the same thing. We want it as a candidate to try and see how far we can extend it. However, what's really interesting here is that it actually extends backwards as well. And so while we cut off the candidate for this one, that actually created the opportunity for it to extend this way. Because think about it, if this guy is smaller than this guy right here, well, it's smaller. That means that if you trail off to the left, that this is going to be higher. And so that means that it can extend over to the left. Okay, so what's really cool about this is we actually place, remember, we're always going to place tuples of the height and the index on the stack. So the height is going to be 1. That's how high we can extend this, except the index is not going to be this one because it extends backwards over here. And so we would extend it over to the previous one on the stack, which was a position of 0. Okay, so we move on to our position of 2 here, and then we can see that we can extend this over. Okay, so we're not popping this thing off the stack. We're going to just add something new onto the stack, which is this candidate bar, because we also want to see how far we can extend over this way. So we are going to put this on with the height of 5 and its index of starting of 2. Okay, we're going to go over to index 3. We see that we can extend this over here. So, okay, we're going to keep this going like that. And when that happens, we're just going to put it on like we did before. A new height of 6 and an index of 3 tells us that we can also try and extend, see how far we can take this height as well. Now, when we go over to our index of 4, we see that this one is going to get cut off here. Okay, so when it gets cut off, we need to see how much area we could get from that? Well, this thing here has a height of 6, and it was at position 3. So we're at position 4 right now. It's going to have a width of 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1, at a height of 6. And that makes sense, right? It's basically just the area of this bar itself. And that is a better area. So we can see that we actually get a max area of 6. But we've cut this one off now. Let's see if there's more things to pop off the stack. Well, yes, this 2 is actually smaller than that 5 as well, which means we also can't extend this 5 over here. So we're going to pop this off with a height of 5. So it has a height of 5. We're at position 4, and we started this at position 2. So this should have a width of 2. That makes sense. It's these two positions right here. So we have a height of 5 and a width of 2. As we saw in the illustration at the beginning, this is our maximum area of 10, representing this chunk right here. Okay, but we have nothing more for this 5 to do here. This 1 here, we can actually keep that extending, so we'll keep it looking like that. Okay, and similar to before, we're going to place our height of 2. We're trying to see how far we can extend this one, and it could extend all the way back over here, which was the index of the last thing we popped off the stack. This was the last thing we popped off the stack, and so it's actually going to start at this index over here, which is an index of 2. Okay, at the last index of 5 here, we see that we can move our 2 over, and so really all we're going to do here is place onto the stack with a height of 3, its index of 5. Now what's very interesting here is you'd basically have a different piece of the code which is going to deal with the end scenario. We have all of this stuff on the stack here. We didn't pop it off while going through the array, but now we need to pop it off afterwards, because this 1 here, it basically got all the way through to the array, and this 2, this got all the way to the end over here, and the 3 of course got to the end as well because it's its own bar. So now we have to deal with popping all of this stuff off the stack, and you're basically going to be comparing it to the imaginary index of 6, which is just going to be in general index n. So we pop this off here. We are going to have a height of 3. We have 6 minus 5, which is equal to 1, so a width of 1. That makes sense. It's just this bar here. So a height of 3 with a width of 1, that's going to be an area of 3. That is no better. We take off this 2 here, so a height of 2. We get a width of 6 minus its index of 2, which gives a big width of 4. That makes sense. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So a height of 2 and a width of 4, that is going to give an area of 8, but it's still not better. And this 1 made it all the way through the array. It's going to have a width of 6 minus 0, which is equal to 6, with a height of just 1, and so again an area of 6, but that is not any better. Our stack is empty, and then we would return our maximum area, which is equal to 10. So let's code this up. Okay, so we're going to get n is equal to the length of the heights array, and we'll build up an empty stack, and we'll get our max area so far is just defined to be 0. Okay, then we'll go through the array, and we'll do an enumerate here. So for I and height in enumerate the heights, this will just get each index and the corresponding height in the array. Now this is what we call a monotonic stack. So while there's a stack, so while there's something in it, and the height, so the current height, while that's less than the stack's top, so -1 at 0, because remember, each item of the stack will be a tuple of the height and the index of where it would start. So this will be the top of the stack's height. Okay, then while that's true, basically what that means is that we ran into a scenario like at this 2 here, which is it broke something on the stack. So basically, while there's candidates to break, we'll get to the height and the index j that was on the stack. So h and j is stack.pop. We'll get the width of that bar, which is just going to be I minus j. And so the area of that bar is going to be h times w, the height times the width. And let's see if we got a better max area. So max area will be the maximum of itself and the new area a. Okay, then after we're out of this loop here, it's basically going to take off all the candidates that it can. We want to stack.append. We want to add onto the stack the current height and then the associated index. But it's not just the index I. If it was I, that would basically be saying that the 2 here, you'd put on its index there, except you want it to extend backwards. And so the index you want to put on is actually the index of the last thing that you popped off the stack. So what we would do here is say that start is equal to I, and then whenever we pop something off the stack, we'll adjust start to be j, because that's the index of the thing we're popping off the stack, and then we can put on the index of start. So if this thing didn't run at all, we're just going to put on index I, which is good, and if it did run, we're always going to put on the index that last got popped off the stack. So this is our proper starting point. That's why we're calling it that. Okay, then after we get through here, we deal with that condition of going through the array, except now there might still be stuff on the stack. We need to take all the stuff off the stack, so while there's something on the stack, we'll get h and j is equal to the stack.pop, and then the width of that bar is just going to be cut off at n, because that's going to be that last non-existent index at the end there. So n minus j, and then again, max area is going to be the maximum of max area, and we'll just write it as is here, h times w, our current area. At the end of all of this stuff here, you can simply just return the max area, and what's so cool about this solution, this is why we do it, is it has a time complexity of big O of n, because we just loop through the array, and we put some stuff on the stack. We also pop it off, but that's totally fine, and it has a space complexity also of O of n. Okay, so it's very, very efficient. If you're to run that, this is going to work. Submit our test cases, and it's going to pass them very, very quickly. Okay, guys, so I hope this was helpful. Check out algomap.io in the description if you haven't already, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.